Hi, everybody. It's Captain Canadad, and I'm here today with none other than my very dear friend back in the day and today still. His name is Lee Pimbley. Lee, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everyone.
That about sums it up. So, today we're going to talk about friendship from the past, friendship catching up and moving forward. Those of you that listened to yesterday's video, and there's been a lot of people, so thank you very much for taking the time to do that. It was a bit of a downer, but today is going to be hopefully bright and cheery, and Lee's got all his Bolton Wanderers paraphernalia behind him there. Come on, you whites. Oh, no, it says heights there, Lee, because your chair's in the way, but there you go. And okay, so Bolton Wanderers is the football team, for those of you in North America, the soccer team in Bolton, but they're actually in Horwich now, aren't they?
Officially, yeah. They moved grounds. They shut the ground down. Oh God, it must be 20 years ago now. And they moved to a new building, a new setup in Horwich. Yeah, so good facility.
I've never been to a game. The last time I was in England, other than when I lived there, only been back once, and that was in 2000, and it was in October, I think. There was no games or anything going on there, but the facility itself, it looks incredible. It's architecturally it's stunning, but inside I couldn't get in. So,
well, just for reference, it might be longer than 20 years. Time flies, but I'm saying around 20 years. It could be longer. It could be 25 years, Kev, to be fair. But yeah, it's a good old time. It's a Class 1 facility. It's what they call over here a Premiership facility. So it's got. I mean, we were in the Premiership once upon a time, so it had that kind of standing where you have to have certain rules and regulations for a Premiership game to take place, and that comes up to the to the regulations. So it was built for that purpose.
Nice, very nice.
Not that it helped.
It's what? Sorry.
I said not that it helped us stay in the Premiership that long, but anyway, there you go.
The team itself, my understanding, we don't get a lot of Bolton Wanderers coverage over here in Canada, but I understand that they were going through some turmoil a while ago. Like the team was bankrupt or something, weren't they?
Yeah, they've got a rough, couple of years now, probably 2 or 3 years. They've struggled. I don't know the ins and outs. Obviously, they were into bankruptcy, and yeah, they were struggling just to stay afloat. It was very, very uncertain as to whether they would exist. Teams like Bury now, bless them, and others who've fallen by the wayside because of not being able to basically afford to stay afloat, which is unfortunate. We got some people in that rescued the whole outfit. They had to sell a lot of stuff as well, I believe. We had a fantastic facility that was set up. Again, don't quote me. I think it was like Big Sam Allardyce. You won't know him, but
I know Sam Allardyce.
Yeah, he's a big old. He's a good manager. He was an ex-Bolton player. And he set up a facility, or helped to set up a facility that there was a training ground. And I think while he was away in America, he picked up a lot of hints and ideas about how to train athletes, and obviously brought that back. And our football players now are classed as professional athletes, where once upon a time that wasn't the case. So yeah, they had to sell that on, unfortunately, and move training facilities. So they had to do a lot of things. As a result, we got penalised for that. We lost a lot of points, and we are now. So there's the Premiership, which is the top division. There's the Championship, which is the next one, and then there's First Division, and then the Second Division. And unfortunately, we are in the Second Division as we stand at the moment, and not doing too well at that, to be fair. But again, it's all about money in this game. It's all about bringing players on, buying players.
Yeah.
And it's just not happening, and it's a shame because money talks, and that's what it is. It's a lot of money. You see the big teams up there being able to plough millions and millions of pounds into the game, and it's fantastic football. But you know what? I'll say something. I'm just looking at my placard at the back here. We were Championship. Well, we got the promotion in 2016-17 from League One back into the Championship, and that was the best season I'd ever watched Bolton Wanderers, to be fair, because we were going to grounds I'd never been to. We were paying less than £20 for entrance fee, which is, if you compare the likes of Man United, 60, 70, 80, the London clubs are 90, £100, £100, English pounds, to go and watch those people play. And we were watching proper football, as I call it. We were watching, like ground, route football, and it was a good day out. It was, and we were getting results, which was a bonus. So
Well, yeah.
yeah. So
The crowds must have been massive.
well, they were, but they weren't. You remember the old Horwich RMI, but playing on the Horwich RMI as it was. Yeah,
Like that?
I'm starting to get Kevin on about the size of the ground. There wasn't many people that could fit in there, and we were going to some grounds of a similar stance. So you can imagine
Really?
taking Bolton Wanderers to slightly bigger, I'd say, but on that kind of level, local teams with no facility like Bolton have or any of the higher clubs. But that's what I liked about it. I liked turning up at those grounds, and it was like the old days. You were able to stand up, you were able to to watch the game. The players were this far away from you as opposed to being miles away from you.
Yeah.
And it was good. It's like the olden days standing back on the RMI there at Horwich.
That was funny, and the place was always there was always holes to get in for free.
Well, it was a fantastic place, like I said, and that's no longer there now. They play in Lee, would you believe, which is another town about 4 or 5 mile that way, probably 6 mile that way.
So Horwich RMI now play in Lee.
Yes.
And Bolton Wanderers play in Horwich.
Yeah.
Who plays in Bolton?
Nobody.
Wow. So
it's the are classed as Bolton districts, I think. So Horwich is part of Bolton as a district. So officially it is Bolton, or Greater Manchester as a bigger.
Well, the stadium, and I don't normally like to name companies, but it's called the Reebok Stadium, right?
It's not now, no.
Now, who is it now?
Oh God, you're asking the question now.
Do
you know what? It's the University of Bolton, would you believe, stadium. Your viewers are going to be massively confused here. Apologies to Craig Rotherham if he's watching, because, like I said, my knowledge, I go and watch a game, I have a good time, and I come on. So the kind of backdrop to everything that's technical and otherwise, I'm not too up on. But yeah, the ground is. I think it was a Macron after the Reebok, and then the University of Bolton now have their name. Well, I could tell you a tale about that, but I won't, because I might land myself in some trouble. But that would cost a lot of money to put your name up there, and where the University of Bolton have got that money to put up and sponsor the ground, I have no idea. Well, I have, but I can't tell you.
Eventually, they're going to be called the Modern Cottage Stadium or something.
Oh, God,
remember that store?
Modern Cottage, yeah. I was on about that the other day. Stolen from Ivor. Modern Cottage, and there was one. What was the one in Bolton? We was on about it the other day, where you used to buy all your Pepe jeans and stuff like.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of which, going back to our childhood. Now, I met Lee. We lived in I knew you before Claypool, right?
Yeah, and then you'd moved in. We were there just before you, were we?
I think it was the other way around.
Was it? Oh, I can't remember.
It doesn't matter. Those things were horrible anyway. But we lived in the same area, very, very close to each other, and we became best of friends, I think, at the time, weren't we, Lee?
Yeah. We spent a lot of time together. Well, when you could get your ass out of bed. Forever stood at the top of them stairs, mithering your mother to get you out of your bed. It was, half the day done, and you were still in your bed.
Was it really? I don't remember that.
You and your brother. Your brother was the same.
Well, let's not even bother going with him. But no, we can talk about Glenn if you want. I don't care. We started hanging out, and you have a younger brother, and there was your mom living there. And man, some of the things we got into. I was talking with Craig the other day. There was a guy that lived in these. They're called flats. It's one up, one down, right?
Maisonettes.
Maisonettes. Sorry, I lived in a flat. Lee lived in a maisonette.
Well, a flat. There were two eyes. So yeah.
Yeah. Basically, there were 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, toilet. Living room, kitchen. That was it, right? And a hallway. Yeah. But anyway, we would hang out there. But there was a guy living in one of those one time, and you remember he started a train club?
Yeah, I do. You're not going to go down that route, are you?
Well, very briefly.
Oh God!
And apparently, I went there once, I think, but the guy creeped me out. And anyway, he started this train club where he had model trains set up in his living room, and he'd invite all the kids over to see it. But then once you got in his apartment, his flat, he'd start showing porn.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to stop this now. Just 1 second, because I don't like to turn this off.
I can pause it. Hold on. We're just pausing so you can take a call.
Figured out I can stop the volume.
Oh, am I too loud?
No, the problem, I'm working in my office and I'll get phone calls coming through and the answer phone will kick in, but I don't know how to stop it.
There's no volume control on it?
There is, but just 1 sec.
So, folks, that's been an hour. Thank you very much for watching. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know how to stop. You know, I thought this might happen.
That's okay. You can't really hear what it's saying anyway.
You know, it's just people's numbers. They won't be able to, if they start giving their numbers out.
No. If they start, you just talk over it.
Right.
All right.
Well,
so we went from the train club. Then, okay, so within this little area, it was a small city unto itself, wasn't it? A small town, basically, because there was so many people living there. Lee was the first person I knew to have a home computer. Sinclair ZX Spectrum.
Yeah.
You remember that?
I do remember it, yeah. And I'm not sure I probably was the first on the estate, but no, yeah, because
first that I knew.
Right. Well, yeah, it probably makes sense. I'm trying to think. ZX Spectrum. There was nothing before that, was there? That was the first.
Oh, you had a 64 as well, a Commodore 64, I think.
I thought, yeah, and then that came out, which was a newer version, weren't it?
Well, it was done by Sinclair, not Commodore, right?
Yeah.
And it was like this big.
That's right.
And we used to play
Manic Miner.
Football Manager on it.
And Manic Miner was the best one.
Manic Miner, you like that? I preferred Football Manager.
The thing with that is, I was telling my lad the other day, he's 18, and he can't grab the concept of having to sit with a tape recorder and actually try and download over a telephone line a computer game. What you did? What? I said, yeah. And if it actually sounded out or muted or whatever, you'd have to start all over again and reload all it back and blah blah blah. I'd sit there for hours trying to just reload one game on.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah. Great. I mean, we're talking what? I'm 51 now, so a lot of years ago, 36, 35, 34, 35.
When did you turn 52?
July. So you're slightly older than me, aren't you?
I'm 53. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be 54 in November. Whatever.
I don't feel it, but there you go.
No. So you also had a CB radio. You had a few, actually.
Did. CB radio, Citizens Band Radio. Yeah. The setup was in my room.
Yeah.
I had an aerial that was a Fire Stick.
Attached to a biscuit tin covered in
foil. You got a fantastic memory, mate. Yeah.
Do you remember your handle?
Well, I had two at the time. Fire Stick was one, and Brave Warrior was the other.
Brave Warrior.
Brave Warrior. Yeah.
Mine was Canadian Kid.
Canadian Kid.
Yeah. So I've gone up the ranks, and now I'm Captain Canadad. You see how it works? See?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Well, I was trying to work out Canadad. Yeah.
Canadad, because I'm Canadian. I'm a dad, right?
No flies on you, man.
I gave myself the rank, but you know, whatever. I'm a one-man army.
It just rhymed. It just flowed off the tongue, Captain Canada.
Yeah. Well, actually, here, hold on. I actually originally was going to do my videos with this on, and I'm going to show you so that I could keep my identity to myself.
No.
That doesn't work for you? You don't like that idea?
What is it? Is it hockey head or something? Hockey hats?
No, it's Captain America's head, but I painted over it.
I don't know who Captain America is.
You don't watch the Avengers?
No.
No?
No.
Only one of the most successful movie franchises in the history of film.
It's a shite.
They're good stories. I enjoy
I was talking to my mate the other day. He's probably slightly younger than me. You might know him, Dave Olding.
I know the name.
Yeah, and probably similar. Mine. He's probably a bit younger than. Anyway, I was talking to him and his lad. He watches all the Marvel films. Is that where it's from?
Yep.
And not only watch them once, he'll go and watch them again and again and again and again. Like, why?
They're good. They're good stories.
Yeah.
And if you do them chronologically, it's an amazing saga. You know, it goes on and on, but the stories and the plots are awesome. They're really cool.
So you've always been into that kind of sci-fi stuff, haven't you? And all that kind of Star Wars and all that nonsense.
Well, it's funny. I was never really into Star Wars that much. I went with the hype. You know, we went and saw the movies. We went together, didn't we, to a couple of them?
Yeah, I was telling somebody there because they were asking about it, and I said I think I'd seen the first one, or definitely saw the first one, but the first couple. But after that, I fell out with that as well.
Yeah.
Rubbish. Well, Star Trek, another load of crap.
Well, see, I watch it for nostalgia now. That's all. But the special effects are terrible. And
well, that was like going to. Remember when? Did you ever go to the pictures at Orwich Leisure Centre on a Saturday morning?
Yeah.
And they used to show films down there, didn't they? That kind of like Champion the Wonder Horse and
Champion the Wonder Horse, Chipmates.
And what was that? Flash Gordon and all the old films they used to, and then the old Charlie Chaplin one and all the old films. Do you know what? They were great to watch. And sometimes if they're on, I'll sit and watch those films. But Harold Lloyd.
Hooray for Harold Lloyd!
Quality. See, that's quality. Laurel and Hardy.
I still crack myself up every time I'm watching those guys. They're hilarious.
See, and again, my lad sits and watches films for fun, so he'll sit and watch probably 2, 3, 4, 5 films a day if he's not doing anything. And he'll say, I've watched everything there. What can I watch? So I'll try and then suggest a film.
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop, or something back from when we thought films were good and funny. No, I'm not watching that. I watch something Laurel and Hardy. No, I'm not watching that. So yeah, it's not quite up to Marvel, is it? Spec.
No, but they have their time and their place. I just want to show you this. This was another big thing when we were younger.
Yeah, Beano and Dandy. Yeah, Beano's my favourite.
Yeah, mine too. I never really liked the Dandy. It was kind of weak. Their characters were weak, I thought, but
Desperate Dan was Dandy, was it?
Desperate Dan. There was Minnie the Minx, wasn't there, or was that Beano?
Beano, I think, was it?
Biffo the Bear was the Dandy, I think.
Yeah, like I said, weak characters.
Yeah. Willie was in one of them, wasn't he? Bash Street Kids, that was another one. That was the Beano, I think, too. Yeah, but that would keep us amused, right? That was our internet, I guess. You would read your Beano. I had a subscription.
Yeah, well, like I say, you'd go to the newsagent and pick it up, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I actually have somewhere here as well. I have a Champion the Wonder Horse album. I don't know why, but yeah. I came back in 2000 and like I say, or 2001, and I bought a bunch of stuff that reminded me of back over there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Quality.
I've got a Zippy from Rainbow. You remember Zippy? Yeah, exactly. And he always sounded like he was pissed.
Probably were. And
I've got a bag push somewhere over here.
Yeah, see, now you're getting into it. All your, like I say, your followers over there have to go onto the old YouTube or internet or whatever and search bag puss.
Yeah, but that's part of what I want to do this for, Lee. To be honest, I wanted this channel to be just people chatting. Like there used to be you remember Sesame Street?
Yeah.
Okay, so they used to do this thing on that where they said, "Who are the people in your neighborhood?" In your neighborhood. This is just introducing people in my neighborhood. I've actually got one coming up on Saturday. I don't know about in England. Do you ever get the Ireland's Got Talent in England?
No.
Well, I've got do you ever watch England's Got Talent or?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I've got an interview coming up on Saturday that I'm filming it with a girl that I think it was 2 years ago. She made it to the semifinals on Ireland's Got Talent.
Right.
Beautiful voice. This girl is amazing, but I don't want to say too much. Just watch it on when I post it. But anyway, back to Claypool Road. No, you weren't on Claypool Road. You were on
Poplar Avenue.
Poplar Ave. That was it. We used to hang out. There was me, you, and your brother most of the time. That was really our hangout, wasn't it? That was our group.
Yeah, well, main group. Yeah, then you've got the likes of, is it Debbie Chesham?
Debbie Chesham, Vic
Stacey,
Laurie.
Vicky Laurie, yeah.
Yeah. There
Paul
was
Schofield, do you remember him? Scoey.
I remember the name.
Yeah. Yeah, there weren't that many kids on there, I don't think, were there? Oh, Suzanne Rushton and Nikki. Remember them?
I do, yeah.
Her mum was she used to collect the rent, Marilyn.
That's right.
Yeah.
Are you in touch with any of them?
I don't. No. I've seen Nikki at. See, the thing is, where we live in. Well, we live in Adlington, but Horwich is probably 3 miles up the road, but it might as well be 300 miles up the road.
Yeah.
It's just. We used to travel a lot to Horwich because obviously family are over there. Claudine, her family's over there, and we did it for years and years and years, and nobody ever seemed to come. Nobody ever seemed to come this way.
No.
So there was a point it was New Year's Eve, and we were coming back in a taxi. I think it was about 30 quid to come back. And I said, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. And I said, right, we're going to make our life here. So what we did is became entrenched in what they call village life.
Yeah.
So you kind of get into the village clique. Everybody knows everybody else. It is nice because it is it's a nice place to be. But we had to make that effort to kind of come away and leave Horwich behind and kind of make our life here. Not to say that nobody ever comes here, but it's just one of them things. Like I said, you might be 3 miles away, but you could be 300 miles away.
Do you know one guy that you're talking about village life? Everybody knows everybody, and I'm going to say a name to you, and it'll open up a can of worms. I know, but one guy I've stayed in touch with, or I've reattached with, I guess, for want of a better word, is Simon Annis. Remember Si?
I do, yeah. I'd see his sister Jane a few times in Horwich, yeah.
Yeah. How are they doing?
It's just, how are you doing? Hi, Jane. Yeah, not too bad. And that's it. I think she worked at the local supermarket last time I saw her. Yeah, seems all right. I don't get into kind of any deep conversations about
no, just
previous lives or whatever. But yeah, I remember Simon. Yeah.
Now, Simon has got a hobby, and the stuff that he's done with this hobby is incredible. He does wood carvings, I believe, and they're like beautiful work. The other thing he does, though, is metal detecting. And he has found some amazing things from like Anglo-Saxon times, Roman times. And he posts them on his Facebook page from time to time. And Simon was like, he was a bit of a mystery, wasn't he? He was kind of kept himself to himself, and for the most part.
I don't want to comment.
No, he's.
Okay.
I talked to him about the past, and he's a completely different guy now. He's so mellow.
Yeah, and I think we all are. Do you know, when you think about the likes of the crew on Brasley, for example, that we had to put up with
the Brasley mob.
Yeah, we could name quite a few people from that era and that age that were probably not the people they are today. Well, you'd hope they're not, but yeah, it was part of the childhood we had, and that was the kind of growing up that there was. I wouldn't say gangs; it wasn't a gang thing, but it was groups of people in one area, groups of people in another area, and I'm not saying testing times, but it's part of growing up. I keep saying it's not done us any harm, and I think for one thing, again, just to go back to one particular instance, I don't know whether you were there, but we were climbing on the garages at front of my mum's house.
Okay.
And I think somebody rang the police, and we were really young, and the police came, told us to get down off the garage roofs, which we did do, and then hoisted us all into this police van, made us sit in this police van. And I'm not sure they had a bit of a heads up from the mother, I think, or a father, whoever'd rung, and it put the fear of God up in us. You know, because we're all sitting there cacking ourselves, thinking, God, we're going to get hoisted off and took to the police station, blah, blah. And I'll never forget it. And, you know, I'm not saying I've got the greatest respect for police, but I've got respect for law and order and for, you know, for people that have to uphold the law and so on and so forth. And that was a very, you know, early learning curve from a young person's point of view with regards to having, you know, respect for perhaps not the person that's in the uniform, but the uniform. And you speak to some young people these days, and they just do not give a shite.
No, they couldn't care less.
Yeah,
no,
not bothered. They're not interested. And all those people, and you know what really gets my goat? We were single parent families.
Mm-hmm.
Tough times, no money, all that bollocks. We can go down that route and say, yeah, we're not, you know, all right, you've talked about the ZX Spectrum. That was, you know, my mum worked hard like your mum worked hard, and so on and so forth. But these people that come and bleat about one parent family this, and, you know, it's my upbringing and all that, absolute bollocks. You know, I'm probably way proof. I know I am. You know, I'm not sitting here bragging, but I've got a nice 3-bedroom house, decent job, you know, company car. You know, I didn't go to no college, no university.
Yeah.
A university of life. No, it's true, you know. So I don't get that. What I do get is, and I'm on the soapbox for a minute now, is the fact that these people who are having kids are not keeping control of their kids like our mothers did. And they're letting them roam. And then these kids that are being let roam are having kids of their own at young ages who are letting their kids roam and, you know, do things they shouldn't be doing, drugs and Christ knows what. And it's just becoming, well, it's just becoming that way. You know, it's just becoming the norm that people don't go to work anymore. It's becoming the norm that the states should support us. It's becoming the norm that, you know, we're expecting to walk into a 40-grand job, 50-grand job as soon as we leave school. Absolute nonsense. You know, anyway, there you go. That's my soapbox moment.
No,
I don't get it. I don't get it. You know, and again, we're proof, and there's many people that are proof out there that, you know, if you want something, have a bit of respect, set your sights at a reasonable level and go for it, and you'll get there. You know, we've only done that perhaps now. I'm saying that, but slowly but surely you work through the ranks, and it's probably took me the last 15 years to get where I want to be, from an earnings potential, from a professional potential, and so on. So same with my wife. She's 4 years younger. You know, she's a manager for a big international company and doing all right, thank you very much. But it took us quite a while to get there. The young ones these days, and my lad's one of them, thinks he can leave school and jump into these kinds of jobs straight away, and it doesn't work.
No.
You know, it doesn't work. So,
but that's, and I agree 100% with what you're saying, but I also think that that's our responsibility as parents to knock that into their heads, that that's not the way it's going to be. You've got to work to get there. And I think that's what's lacking too, is that people don't take the time to educate their kids from a home front now too.
One thing I'll say about my lad, he's 18. He's worked. I sound awful now, like I'm a big old bloke stood over him. From 14, he's had paper rounds. He's been out and worked. He's done whatever he's got. He's learned the value of money very, very early. He now gets his ass out of bed every morning at 7 o'clock, puts a full shift in every day, doesn't miss a trick, and he loves that wage at the end of the week. He knows the value. If he wants a pair of trainers, he'll go and buy a pair of trainers. He drives around now in a nice car. You know, he insures it himself. He does all these things that has allowed him to do because he understands that he has to get out of his bed every day, put a shift in, and pull a wage at the end of the week. He's not on fantastic money, Kev, by any means. He's on minimum wage. But do you know what? It's a start, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
And that was learned from a very, very early age. That, you know, even if it was worth 3 or 4 quid on a paper round, it was 3 or 4 pound in his bank. A couple of weeks, he was able to buy himself a computer game, for example, or whatever it was. And you know what? I'm so proud. I'm proud of him because hopefully it'll continue, and I know it will, because I don't have to mind about getting out of bed every day. We're at school. Brandon, come on, get out of your bed. You need to go to school. Really? He knows now. If you don't go to work, you ain't getting no money.
Yeah. Yeah, I find that, well, we've had our difficulties with our daughter. She's 14 now. And she's very dependent on her phone. And if you take it away from her, then you get results. But I mean, it kills her to not have it, you know? So we're working with her on that, and she's not able to get a job yet. I think you have to be 15 over here to get a job. But the second
Yeah.
we can get her working, she's out the door. And no, I'm just kidding. The second we can get her working, we'll get her a job just to teach her, like you say, the benefits of having an income. Next year,
Yeah.
she can start to drive. So,
You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I kept joking that, you know, I was in the army at 15 and a half. So there you go. So he's not hanging around here sitting on his ass doing nothing. He's either going to get himself a job and get sorted, or he's out the way. No, you wouldn't do that to him. You wouldn't do that to him. I wouldn't do that to him. But I'll tell you what, I made sure he knew that, you know, that I like I say, I was boy soldier in the army. So I was on my own doing what I was doing. And there's no reason why anybody else shouldn't do it.
now
You know,
what?
and he has, to be fair.
I didn't realize you were in the army, because I guess what year would that have been?
85.
85. See, I left in 87, and we
When did
kind
we
of
leave school? We left school at 85.
no. I
Yeah.
left England at 80.
No, we left. Oh, you left school
87.
before me. I left school in 85.
And you went straight into the army. I didn't know that.
Well, that September I went into army. Yeah.
Wow. You see, we're talking about a time when I don't know if it's still the same, but there was no cell phones, there was no internet. Well, no, there wasn't internet. There was no. I mean, Lee had a computer, but he was one of the few and very, very far between that had a home computer back then. And I moved from Claypool Road down to Crown Lane. And when that happened, we kind of lost contact for a while, didn't we?
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Kev. I didn't do that long. I think I was too young. But equally, I was wanting just to get out there, I think. And, you know, from our backgrounds, again, not that they were particularly awful background, but it was tough. And, I suppose I wanted to kind of be independent. So I think it was a bit, when I look back at it now, I should have gone in perhaps a bit later.
Yeah.
Because I'm a bit more mature about myself and blah, blah, blah. But nevertheless, the experience that I had from the British Army and being a member of the British Army, albeit a very short period of time, was massive, because they taught me lots and lots of things. If nothing else, self-respect, you know, how to look after myself, how to, you know, groom, shave, you know, all the basics of perhaps, I suppose. And again, I'm kind of looking it back, and I've never thought about it as kind of a dad. You know, the army was the dad. You know.
Yeah.
You know, we got taught to shave. Who was going to teach me to shave?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I can tell you too. We all had a sergeant major from Manchester, a fantastic guy, but he was hard as fuck. Can I say fuck?
You just did twice, so let's hope so.
There you go. No offense meant, everybody. It's part of my terminology.
It's English.
Yeah. But he was rock hard, this bloke, and he wouldn't take no nonsense, as you can imagine, from a sergeant major. And they used to line us up every morning so you had your barracks, your bedrooms, and then you come out into the hall, and across from the hall was all the wash basins, toilets, so on and so forth. So you'd all line up, and it was the second or third day we were there, and we'd all been introduced to. You had to wet shave. You couldn't take an electric shave until you'd passed out. Until you got past your recruitment. And he said, right, I'm going to teach you how to shave today. So he got into the room, the bathroom, and put all the soap on, and he shut down this way, down that way. Showed us all what to do, that with that. Everybody understand? Yeah. So tomorrow morning, when you get up, you'll all be expected to take your wash pack with you, have a shave. You shave whether you have to do or not, because imagine 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds, all bum fluff or no fluff. So there's nothing to shave anyway, but you had to do it. So bless him, we went into the wash. There was periodic wash sections for different people, and I was in this section with this lad. And he went in, as we all did, put the old shaving foam on, looking in the mirror, got the razor.
Oh shit!
So it was you know, the razor, the plastic razor. Stuck it into his face.
Oh shit!
Peeled it down, and he ended up like a curl of butter.
Yeah.
Pissing blood. So this sergeant major coming in, he fucking lambasted it. What the fucking hell have you done? Got everybody outside. This bloke stood there, still pissing, half his face hanging off, and he stood there in front of everybody and lambasted him for not having a shave, as how he'd been taught to. And all they'd done, bless him, instead of just running it across his face, stuck it into his face and gouged about a centimetre worth of skin away from his head.
Jesus.
So, but yeah, like I say, I digress. You know, that was part and parcel of what they taught us to do and be. So I'll never look back. All I would say is perhaps I'd have gone in a bit later. But do you know what? Looking at it, if I'd have gone in later, I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have met Claudine. I wouldn't have been here. I wouldn't have, you know. So the whole life could have been totally different.
Coulda, shoulda, wouldas, right?
There you go. Be glad for what you've got.
Yeah. Now I remember when we were. That's awesome. I'm glad you did it because it helped. It can help a person a lot to become a better person. So good for you. Well done.
Yeah, just for the doubters out there, I was in the Royal Signals. I was a radio telegraphist, and my number was 247222480.
But we're not taking.
I remember it to this day. That's my army number from 36 years ago.
Well, good for you, buddy.
Drilled into you. 247222480. Never forget it. Can't remember my own telephone number, by the way, but never forget that.
Yeah, I can't. Somebody said to me the other day, I was in a store, a shop, and I wanted to get something, but I wasn't sure if I should or not. So I said, "Hold on, let me just call my wife." I called her the boss and the finance department. I said, "Let me just check," and they said I didn't have my cell phone with me, so I asked if I could use their phone, and they said, "Sure, no problem." What's her number? And I'll dial it, and I'm like,
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, well, you press contacts.
Yeah. And the name.
Yeah, but one of my biggest memories of the Claypool area or era was a few, obviously. Ken Wowell used to drive a U.S. Army Jeep, an original.
Yeah, Willie's Jeep. Yeah.
We used to drive that guy nuts trying to get a ride in that thing.
Take us up river, did he? Bless him. He used to stand while because he had a garage, didn't he? So he'd be always titivating and mauling about and mending and fixing and so on. And we used to stand there, mithering him, bless him. And yeah, every now and again he'd say, "Right, come on, I'm taking it for a ride up into the countryside where we live." And we used to go up there open topped, and it was
open
memories.
top, no sides.
Oh yeah.
You'd have your foot hanging out the side, and he was a class guy. And you know, he had red hair. Do you remember him with the red hair?
I've always remembered him. Well, he was bald, wasn't he?
Well, he was bald, and this is kind of where I'm going with it. But he used to love this Jeep. He used to treat it like his baby, and he used to put red lead on the paint. But he would do it in his garage, and inhaling the fumes made his hair fall out.
All right.
That's how it happened. So, but Ken was awesome. Then there was Mrs. Lloyd, Lily Lloyd, and she had a little dog, a little West Highland Terrier named Rex. Do you remember Rex?
Really? Yeah,
and we always used to go over to her house and say, "Can we take Rex for a walk?" Now, she probably got that dog, looking back, to keep her company, number one, and to give her exercise. But we never let her because we always used to take Rex for a walk.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, she lived right across from where we live. So she used to make cakes and fetch them across. And when I started delivering milk locally, I used to deliver there, and she used to give me 50 pence every Saturday for a tip. So
nice.
Yeah, good
She was
times.
a very nice lady.
She was, yeah.
And then we had there was right outside the front of her door, there was a strip of grass where we used to kick a ball around. And I remember there was one lady that used to live in there. We called her Naggerbag. And she used to knock on the window and go on. You remember that?
I do. She had a stroke, you take, yeah. We didn't know that at the time. Yeah,
no, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so she wasn't able to pronounce the words correctly, but yeah, she did. Yeah, she'd had a serious stroke. So as much as we used to annoy her kicking a ball about, that's as much as she could say to get off her, get from front of her house was to go away.
Yeah, you remember the tone and everything.
Oh, to a young kid, it was frightening because she sounded beastly. she did sound a bit weird.
And then I also, one of my fondest memories, Lee, was in your house. Your mom was at work, and I would bring over records. You remember?
Excuse me.
Do you remember the band?
Rush.
No.
Ooh. You used to bring records over to play.
Yeah.
The band.
Yeah, the band was Queen.
Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And we used to mime to the music that was playing on.
Yeah, well, like I said, early memories. Always been a big fan of Queen. Yeah, fantastic. And the early stuff as well. I was listening to some of it on YouTube the other day.
Yeah.
Night of the Opera stuff, and even earlier than that. And you forget about some of the great tunes that they'd done. You know, once they got into kind of the late 80s, 90s, more like pop, shall we say.
Yeah.
Queen lovers will be hating me for that, but I must admit, I do like Queen as a band, but the old stuff for me was the better stuff.
Yeah. Well, I remember the album specifically. It was News of the World. We used to
Yeah.
perform to.
Down in the city, just to you and me.
Yeah, they were awesome.
You remember the cover? Yeah, I can picture the cover now. It's all like robotic, and high-rise buildings.
Yeah,
great album. Yeah,
it was mostly green, and the guy was silverish looking, grayish. Right?
Yeah. No, you're right.
Do you remember what instrument you played?
Drums.
Well, I thought I was the drums because I had the drumsticks.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I can't remember.
I used to hit your mom had a what?
A poof.
A poof, yeah. And I used to pound the living shit out of that with these drumsticks.
That's going to sound very strange to your viewers in your part of the world. A poof was a footstool, for want of a better term, a leather footstool.
It's what we call an ottoman over here.
He wasn't. Oh, was it? He wasn't banging the shit out of a puff, by the way.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah,
there wasn't. Do they know what a puff is over there?
No.
No. Let's not go there then. Have we not now?
Well, no, we can explain it. A puff in England is a derogatory term meaning a gay person. Over here, it's the equivalent of calling someone a fag.
Right.
But over in England, a fag is a cigarette. So, yeah.
So, just to clarify, point of order, you weren't banging the hell out of a puff.
No, I was not. It was an ottoman.
In my front room.
Yeah. Now it makes me sound like I was hitting an Austrian guy with a pair of drumsticks. So we would do that. We used to play right outside your window. We would chalk the street, and it would be our Wimbledon tennis court.
Yeah. That was great size, right size as well, weren't it?
Yeah.
Car park.
And then there was a guy that lived across the street from you guys, but down in the police houses. You remember the houses that were owned by the police? His name was Simon.
No, I don't remember that.
He was younger than us.
Oh yeah, I do remember. His dad, big mustache, big fella.
Blonde hair and glasses, right?
Oh, you went and then the one further down, the Stephen. He was a strange guy. The couple of houses down, Stephen with the black
Pendlebury.
Pendlebury, yeah. Simon, I do remember Simon. No, yeah. I think I've seen him once or twice knocking around Norwich. You see, we'll remember him about that big, little kids. You go around Norwich now, they're all built like brick shit houses.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember you. Are you Lee?
And you're like, maybe. Why? Who are you?
But I'll tell you, strange that is. This is how kind of estranged from my dad's family. I'm not going too much into this, but I was all suited and booted. I had my suit on the other day, about a few months ago now, going to a job, and I pulled up at the local post office at the top there, and I got out of my car and I was just going in to post some letters, and this young girl, mid-20s, come over to me and said, "Are you Lee?" And I went, "Yeah." She went, "Lee Pimbley?" And I went, "Yeah." She went, "You're my half brother." I'm like,
surprise!
You know, really? Yeah, so that was a strange one, and apparently she was. Yeah, my dad's side of the family, and yeah, with a young child as well, and yeah, I see things go on, and time moves on, and you keep yourselves in your little bubble, and yeah, so that was an experience.
Yeah, I'll bet. What the hell can you say to that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
So, yeah. Yeah, it was very. She said, "Oh, we're living down here now." I said, "All right." I said, "Well, if you see me knocking around again, you'll have to give me a shout." And like I said, what more can he say?
It really, eh?
I should have done. I said more. When I came home and told me, I said, "Oh, you should have invited around." And I started thinking, perhaps not. Yeah, no, it's just how she came. Like I say, just came up to me and propositioned me, I suppose, for want of a better term.
Well, you know, it's funny. When we were hanging out, I mean, obviously we were quite young, but when whenever I met your dad, I could only see you. And you look quite different from him now. But last time I saw you, you're bigger. Yeah. Your dad was a slim guy, right? Is he still around?
Yeah, still is. Yeah.
The last time I saw you was when I was back in England in 2001. And we were in a pub in Harwich somewhere. I don't remember what pub it was. Was it the Beehive? No, it wasn't the Beehive.
Crown. Well,
Was it the Crown? I don't remember ever going in the Crown.
I don't know.
I think it was like, I thought it was like the Bowling Green or something like that.
It might have been. Yeah. That's one of his favourite haunts, or was.
Well,
Yeah.
yours. It was you that I saw.
No, if you're saying about being in the pub, I think that was one of his local haunts, if that's what you're saying.
Okay. But anyway, I remember I was driving down the road with my cousin, and I remember the way I remember it is we saw somebody going into the pub, into the Bowling Green. And I said to my cousin, stop the car. I got to go and catch that person. So I get out of the car. I ran in there thinking it's Lee. I haven't seen Lee since 1985. Right. And I'm thinking to myself, I gotta catch up with him. Let him know I'm here. Maybe we can, catch up a bit. Excuse me. This diet pop that I'm drinking is catching up with me.
Not very good for 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning, is it your side, is it?
10 o'clock right now. Well, you got to do something to keep awake. But I go in and it was your friggin' dad. So anyway, I did talk to him and he told you that I had seen him.
Yeah.
Or I had seen him. And
well, I'd not seen my dad for a while now, for all the reasons we won't explore. But I'd seen, well, not seen him personally, but I saw him a couple of months ago now. Was with my lad, who's now, because he wanted to see my lad since we were young. My lad's up here, same size as me. I was walking around a local supermarket and I'd seen him with his daughter and granddaughter and what have you. And I think he's got a bit of dementia now. And all right, Tommy. He looks around. Who's that? And I said, it's me, Lee. Fucking hell, I put some fucking weight on, haven't they? So nice to see you as well, Dad.
Yeah.
So that was his first words out. And who's this? I said, it's your grandson. That's how awful it is. He's not seen Brandon for, well, the similar same time, 10, 12 years.
Wow.
So yeah, I think someone was saying I think he's losing it. Too much of that. And the pills.
The
wacky backy
that you buy in the shop.
Wacky. He's always been on wacky back, and him.
Has he?
Whatever. Yeah, for as long as I've known, and yeah, back in the day when he was a mod, he was an avid pill taker of the period, as they were down in them days. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it's just a lot of things, but yeah, I'm being told he's kind of, it's a shame really, but he'd be 75, 76 now. It's not old, but he's. I think
it happens. I mean, it's natural progression, right?
It's frightening, really, when you think me and you, if 20 years time, or potentially, I know. There you go. Let's fetch the mood up a bit.
Let's just do one of these. That's probably, if we do an interview in 20 years. Is this hello? Oh, I got my English accent back.
You've put some fucking weight on.
You know what? I hadn't seen my mom, since 87 when I came back here, and when I went back in 2001, and I got off the plane, and I was, when I left England, I was 140 pounds, 10 stone. By the time I came back, I was I was 240 pounds. So I'd gained 100 pounds. And my mom didn't recognize me. I went right up, stood next to her, and I said, "Are you waiting for someone?" She said, "Oh, why? You're fat." I'm like, "Oh, thanks, Mom."
I know. I've put a few pounds over this lockdown. I've got my old bike there waiting now. It's just the weather over here has been atrocious over the last couple of weeks. It's we do a lot of walking. We have 2 dogs, so we do try and get out and do a lot of walking.
Yeah.
I bought a bike, one of these electric bikes, electric assisted bike. So I've yet to go. I've been on it twice, but it's been snowing over the last few days. It's absolutely bounced it down. We've had a storm over us for the last couple of days. So I'm hoping next few weeks it kind of tidies up and I can get out on there and start to lose a bit, because yeah, I'm probably 17 stone now, just over 17 stone, which is not healthy. I carry it all right, but I'm not happy with myself. But there you go. It's and I'm not a big eater. I like a drink, and I don't drink all week. The thing is, at weekend comes, I'll have a good slip, and
You
then,
do your catching up.
yeah, and then week I don't bother during week for all the reasons of. But anyway, I'm not going to sit here and justify myself. It is what it is. And old age, I think you can throw into that. And family life, and lockdown, and COVID. What else can we throw at it?
Well, that's the thing about this chat thing, Lee. Nobody's going to judge you, I don't think. It's just catching up, right? So
You don't know me. You don't know me.
yeah,
You will after
yeah.
this.
Talk to the hand. So, okay, so we've pretty much chatted about all the people on Claypool or all the ones that we remember anyway. You said you still see Vicky Laurie from time to time. Please tell her I say hi.
I will do, yeah, when I next see her, when the local pubs open again, which who knows when. They're talking March, possibly April, summertime now. The local pubs might open up, which is, it's a shame, really, for all the businesses. But yeah, I'll certainly mention it next time I see you.
Yeah, please, because I always liked Vicky. She was a sweet person.
Yeah, lovely girl.
Yeah.
Always pleasant, smiling. You know, says time for everybody, and she's good at what she does. You know, she works in our local bar, does a couple of shifts in there, and she's good at it. Yeah, she's really nice.
Certainly got the right personality to be a bartender.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I mentioned it before. I think she had her own pub for a number of years, so she was used to the the running of a pub and what's expected. So natural progression, obviously. She had a family, and now she's just a couple of shifts in there every now and again. So nice. Like I said, when things get better, I'll mention it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it'd be great to talk with her too. So I moved to Crown Lane, and you went in the army. Then when you came out, what did you do?
So what did I do? I came out of the army, and I was an apprentice shot blaster and sprayer.
Blaster?
Shot.
So you would steal balls and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like high pressure jet of sand or steel and shot black stuff, and then repaint it. So I did that for quite a while. That was an okay job, but I had to travel quite a while away. Got fed up with that. So I'm trying to think what I did then. Went working on the markets locally, selling socks, underwear, ladies' hosiery. Did that for a number of years. That was interesting. So a young bloke of, you know, I was only 20 odd at the time, selling ladies' tights and underwear and God knows what. But one of the tales I do tell from time to time is I was working on the market stall in Wigan, and this old dear had come up to me and she said, "I've got a hole in my tights." So I said, "All right." And our gaffer was a right old-fashioned gaffer, and he'd always taught us to make sure you check that the hole was there, because people would sometimes, as awful as it sounds, wear them, repackage them, and bring them back.
All right.
So we had to physically check, and one of the ways was checking. And again, can you imagine, 20-odd-year-old lad, ladies' pair of tights, in through the pantyhose bit, right up to wherever it was, having a look. Yeah, there's a hole there. Pull it back, bin it, give her a fresh pair. So while I'm doing this, and you know, she's chatting away, and I said, "Oh, it's a bit of banter." I said, "Yeah, just taking the pressure off a bit." I said, "Oh yeah, let me have a look for this hole now." Yeah, and I've got the old tight leg on my arm here. I said, "Oh," I said, "you'll be able to tell your husband I've had my hands inside your tights tonight, won't you, love?" And she went, "My husband died 3 years ago."
Oh no.
Oh yeah, so if you want to put that as one of my embarrassing moments, that was it, mate. But yeah, happy times on there.
It reminds me of a story. I used to work in customer service, and this one time, one of the salespeople called up the company I was working with, and I answered the phone, and I said, "This is Kevin speaking," and he says, "Hi, Kevin, how you doing?" And I said, "I'm doing good. Who's this?" And he said his name. And I said, "Oh, hi. Why are we whispering?" He says, "Oh, I've got throat cancer." And I'm like, "Oh my God, no." It was horrible feeling.
Yeah. Earth open up and swallow me.
Oh yeah, please. Yeah. But I said, "I'm so sorry." He says, "Don't worry about it. You weren't to know." And I'm like, "Yeah, but somebody around here did, and they could have told us."
Yeah.
So
So from the markets, I went on to be you'll remember Whitaker's department store in Bolton, a big department store.
yeah,
Remember?
yeah.
So I went to drive there.
That was right
7.5
across from Alpha Toys, wasn't it?
God, yeah, Alpha Toys, yeah, and, McDonald's on the corner.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Drove their vehicle delivering furniture for a couple of years. That's where I met my wife, Claudine. Well, actually, I didn't. I met her before, and I was lucky enough to get a job through her at the same company. Did a few years there, and then again through my wife and friends, I met a bloke who said that he could get me on at his place. Basically, if I passed my Class 2 heavy goods license. So I did, and the job then was delivering bread for a company that's over here called Hovis, which is a bread company.
Now Hovis is the one that used to have all the. Back in our day, we used to have to walk 300 miles for a loaf of bread, and then we'd come home and butter it, and our dad he'd wallop us, he would.
That's the old Hovis vehicle.
That's
Not
what
that
you
I
used to drive?
them. No, God, that's 1930s, 40s, whatever that. So yeah, did that for a number of years and became interested in trade unions. So while we were there, I was selected for my big mouth, my beliefs, and not being frightened of taking the management on, I suppose. Got the position of senior steward, so I was steward there for about 12 years, looking after over 100 blokes and their interests, basically, from anything from pay awards through to disciplinaries, grievances, and just generally looking after the guys to make sure they were treated correctly by the company. So that was an inroad then. I also passed my Class 1 licence, which was the articulated vehicle, so I'm a Class 1 lorry driver as well. Did a bit of work on the old roads for the same company, and then 12 years ago, this last November, I got a job as a full-time official for the trade union. So that's now a paid position. I don't work for the bakery anymore for Hovis. I work for the union, and I look after probably 2,000 lorry drivers and warehouse staff for the northwest of England.
Wow.
So that again, yeah, that entails anything from grievance disciplinary through to collective redundancy situations, TUPE transfers, anything that's employment where our members will need some assistance. A lot of it's been, as you can appreciate, over the last few months, COVID based. So a lot of questions and meetings and stuff regarding, COVID and what companies can do and can't do and are doing, changing T's and C's, so on and so forth. So a lot of employment stuff. So I've had to learn that basically on the hoof, self-taught, I suppose. We have done courses with the union, but yeah, every day is different, I suppose. And it's an enjoyable job. When it works, it works. It's not all the time, because unfortunately in this country now, the government are in such a way that they've give the upper hand to the employer as opposed to the employee. So it's getting harder. Whether that will change, obviously, now with the exit from Europe, who knows? But we shall see. Yeah, it is a satisfying job, but it's also, you're not just a representative. You're also, I'll get calls saying, "Oh, I've had an accident at work," and I'll say, "All right," and I've been invited to a disciplinary. Can you come and represent me? I'll say, "Yeah." Oh, and by the way, my dog died last week and my wife's got cancer. So all of a sudden, you're not just dealing with a situation of, somebody having an issue at work. You've now got the back history of that person as well. So, it is challenging. And anything down from, nobody ever told me that I'd have 6'2" tattooed, hurry-ass lorry drivers sat in my car crying because of X, Y, and Z. We were never that was never our role, but automatically now becomes our role because it's all part and parcel people's lives in work. So, yeah, challenging. I do enjoy it. It is tough sometimes, because who looks after the people that looks after the people?
Yeah.
So we've got to be very careful about this, because I'm a very good listener, believe it or not, as much as I talk. I'm very good at listening, very good at giving advice, but ultimately all that can just sit here unless you do something with it. So I have to be very careful of my, I suppose, mental state, for want of a better term, just to make sure that it's not sat with me, because you kind of get entrenched in people's lives. You do. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing to present dates, and will do hopefully for the foreseeable future. But yeah, looking to retire early. I don't want to do it forever.
No,
so as soon as I
no.
can retire,
Yeah.
excuse me, I will do. But yeah, that's pretty much up to date, mate.
That's admirable, Lee. Honestly, the fact that you are there for these people when they need you. If I had a hat on, I'd take it off to you right now, buddy. Well done. Congratulations. I'm proud of you.
Excuse me. It is, like I say, it's a very lonely job being a lorry driver, as you can imagine. A lot of what I call, these people drive alone with a head full of magic, as I call it. So they will go and think about Maureen back at home and kids, and what's gone on in their life over the weekend or what have you. And he's having to drive, 200 mile, 15-hour day, in a lorry, killing machine, with all that on his mind. So sometimes when you speak to these people, it might just be for a chat. It might just you can sometimes hear the relief when they've spoke to you, just to say, oh, do you know what, my gaffer's a pain in the backside. He's doing X, Y, and Z. When they've told you about it, they've listened to what you've got to say. You can actually hear the relief in the voice, which is nice,
Yeah.
It puts them on the way and hopefully makes them a bit safer on our roads. So
Well, and that helps everybody, right?
Of course it does. Yeah.
So good for you, buddy. Well done. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So as you're aware, we do, you've seen some of my videos. So I do a thing on this where I ask people 17 questions. They're just random questions that I ask people for the sake of, I guess, getting to know them better. So I'm going to start with you now. Are you ready for this?
Are these quick fire?
Pretty much. I mean, just you don't have to go into great details. If there's any more information needed, I'll ask you, and then they're pretty quick answers. So the first question I like to ask is tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Coffee. How do you have it?
I'm a coffee snob. How do I have it? Do you know what I like? Is a latte or a cafe au lait.
Wow, you got fancy in your old age.
I do, mate. I do like my coffee. I'm a coffee snob. I used to just be the old Nescafe in our house for years and years and years. My mum, Nescafe, and I think we'd been on a flight once, and we came home and from somewhere, and I had a bit of a hangover on this flight. And the stewardess came and said, "Would you like a coffee?" Normally you'd have a beer, wouldn't you? I said, "Yeah, do you know what? I'll have a coffee." And it was carte d'or coffee. Beautiful. So from then on, it was like, right, carte d'or.
There you go.
And then into the more nicer coffees. So yeah, coffee is the answer.
Coffee. So is that with milk and sugar or
just milk?
Just milk. All right.
I like it strong though, unless I'm having which contradicts itself, unless I'm having the posh coffee, which is the cafe au lait.
All right. Well,
which is a milky coffee.
I'm not going to judge you for that.
No.
Okay. I know the answer to this, or at least I think I know the answer based on what we've been talking about. But I remember it differently when you were younger. So I'm going to ask you, cats or dogs?
Do you know, I've thought about this as well. It's dogs.
Yeah.
But also cats, because we did have cats growing up as you did. So
yeah.
I would love a cat today. I'm actually looking at the, what are the ones that look like little tigers with the speckles on?
Bengals.
Bengal tiger.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, I would like one, and I keep reminding my wife. We have 2 dogs at the moment, terriers. So perhaps not a good idea, but yeah, if I was to have a cat, which I will do sometime in the future, I was looking at the Bengal tiger.
Well, no, just a Bengal, not a tiger.
No, I want the Bengal tiger.
What are you, Mike Tyson?
What a big cat. Yeah.
Just so you know, we were going to get one at one point. They're very, very active, and they are very close to being a wild cat.
Well, I want it on lead, me. I'm taking it pub.
And they would like that too, probably.
Yeah.
I remember you had a silver and gray tabby, and its name was Tibby. Tiggy, that was it. Tiggy.
Nearly. Very good. Very good. Yeah.
Yeah,
we did. Yeah, we had a few cats. You had a skinny one?
Siamese.
Siamese, yeah. No, it wasn't grey. It was blonde, like whitey blonde.
No, well, it was brown and black, I guess.
I'm colourblind, Nana.
Are you really?
Yeah. You know I'm colourblind.
I didn't know that.
You know everything about me, but you don't know I'm colourblind.
I didn't know. Well, or that you were in the army. See.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I only went in the army as a radio telegraphist is because my IQ
Yeah.
was fantastic up here,
Yeah.
but my eyesight let me down. So I ended up with a list of jobs that I could do from the IQ level.
Yeah.
But when they knew, and obviously they found out the test, I knew anyway. From a colourblind, the list went down to the
Nice.
because I had to obviously have full sight for some of those jobs.
Isn't it funny that you had a CB radio and then you worked your way into radio?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
funny.
I never even thought of that. Yeah.
And you,
It was touch typing, radio communication, and Morse code.
nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I never even thought of that, to be fair.
See, there's a tie-in. And I also remember when we were doing the music sessions, the concerts in your living room, we used to, one of us had a tape recorder with a microphone, and we used to tape interviews. And I remember at the time there was one tape somewhere where it was me interviewing you about being in the band Queen, and you had braces, and you used to talk about the drums. We was on the drums, and
Was that me? Was that Gareth? I know. I did have braces. You're right, but Gareth had the speech impediment, didn't he?
no, it wasn't a speech impediment. It was just because of the drums. They were, or the drums, the braces. They were affecting your speech. I remember it like it was yesterday.
They don't call them braces over there. What do they call them over there?
No, they call them braces over here. You're thinking of the pants things. Those are called suspenders. Not like you wear for stockings, or women wear for stockings. Although I mean, whatever. I can't judge anybody.
I thought there was another colloquialism for him over there. All right,
orthodontics, maybe. I don't know.
No. Anyway, move on.
Thankfully, I was blessed with perfectly straight teeth.
Mine are not too bad now, but
look at that. The bottom ones look like I'm like related to my mother in more than one way. Anyway, yeah. So you were talking about the drums, but anyway, all right, Lee. This is one. It's up to you if you want to share it or not. I always like to ask though, just for a bit of fun. Most embarrassing moment you would like to share?
Yeah, well, I think I shared the one with the ladies' tights.
Yeah,
I think that was one.
All right.
I did write one down here, but I don't think it's. I suppose it was embarrassing at the time, but it was an email because of the job I do. A lot of email, a lot of telephone calls, a lot of speaking to directors of companies, a lot of solicitors, phone calls. Just very varied job from speaking to our members who are in the field as opposed to their employees and other people. And I'd sent an email one day to a colleague of mine, another officer, and it was in regard to a solicitor I've been dealing with on a case for our member. And this solicitor was absolute pain in the backside, fucking horrible person. So she'd sent me an email, and it was really off tone and really, just, I don't know, condescending, horrible email. So what I was doing is I was forwarding it on to my mates, my colleague who's an officer, saying, basically, have you seen this fucking shit? What a bitch this woman is.
Oh, no.
Fucking totally slaughtered her. I put her in the email for some reason. I don't know, forward to her or forward all or reply all or whatever it was. But yeah, so she's landed up with this email of me absolutely slating her, saying that she was a bitch, pain in the fucking ass, whatever. And she wrote back to me saying, I don't think this email was for me. And that was it. And I thought, oh, fucking hell. Because I had to go back then and negotiate some, it was for money for pound notes. Just 1 minute, Amazon's here. Leave it up, Des. Leave it up. Cheers, mate. Yeah, so...
Anybody that's interested, Lee just received a parcel. It's on his doorstep. If you want to run by there right now and grab it.
There's been cases that people following them around now because they can't knock on door because of COVID.
Yeah.
Just leave it on the doorstep. And there's people following Amazon vans around and all sorts. And what they do as soon as they've left it.
Yep.
So, yeah, not completely embarrassed. Well, I suppose it was embarrassing at the time. I'm not saying it's funny. It's not as funny as the tight story, shall we say. But there you go.
No, the tight story is a classic. Yeah. That's one to tell the kids when they get older. Okay, Xbox or PlayStation, Lee?
None.
I didn't think so. It's so funny that somebody who was so into technology when they were younger just doesn't give a shit.
I don't have no time for it. I've no patience, mate. And my lad, again, it's that era, that age. Well, not just that age. From people of our age that have followed it through and kept at it. But I just haven't. If I can't do it, I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? And I watch people our age who still now sit on it and they'll be pressing all sorts of buttons at the same time. And hand-eye coordination is fantastic. And no, is the answer. I haven't had them. I won't have them. No interest.
I remember you had Pong as well. The tennis game where the thing went up, the paddle went up and down the screen, and the ball went across. And that.
Yeah, the old computer games. That was on the Atari.
That was, yeah. And didn't you have a ColecoVision at one point?
I'm not sure, mate. I don't think so.
Somebody had one. I love that game. All right, iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Really?
And do you know what? Again, that's through no kind of. I suppose it's not my choice. Doing the job I do, we have to have a phone, and it is an iPhone, and it's a lot easier. When we were first starting the job, 12 years ago, we was issued with a Nokia 625 or what it was, 62025, the block thing. And I went into it, what the fucking hell is this? And this is only 12 years ago. And we were out in the field with these phones that you can do rag all with, except text and take phones. So I actually argued with the union and its executive committee, can we not have something a bit better? Anyway, Blackberries were just coming into play, or had been in play for a while. And we all got issued with a Blackberry, and that was it. What it enabled us to do was to do emails and all sorts of stuff then out in the field, rather than having to come home and do another 2 or 3 hours work once you got back in. So, yeah, godsend. And that's what I do now.
Right on.
iPhone, yeah.
Right on. All right. Any broken bones, Lee?
Never.
Never broke a bone.
Touch wood, no.
Good for you.
Yeah, very lucky. Never touched.
Now, the way I word this on my sheet is celebrity that you would like to meet. But is there anybody dead or alive that you would like to meet?
I'd like to meet Billy Connolly.
Really?
Let's have a night out with him. Yeah. I'd like to, probably dead-wise, I'd like to see or have a night out with Che Guevara.
Okay. Interesting answer.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be able to see it there.
I think you got a tattoo of him, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got a bit of interest in him, so I'd like to sit down and have a chat with him. But yeah, there's probably loads you could think of, but those were the first 2 that came to mind.
Just for the record, he doesn't speak English.
Who?
Che Guevara.
No, I speak Spanish, so we're all right.
All right, well, we're good.
I don't.
What's that?
I don't.
No, well, you can make it up.
No,
favorite holiday destination?
Thought about this again. We're very lucky. We've been, I would say, quite a few places. In our pub, you'll have seen our pub on the old internet there, our club. We have a big map where we've pinned every place that we've visited. And it's quite impressive, really, from all over Europe. America, we've been a few times. Just started going over to we did Southeast Asia this last time round. We did India last year, Cambodia, Vietnam, Bangkok. We've done Hong Kong as well. So I quite like it over that part of the world. And if, the COVID hadn't happened, we'd probably be going away next week again for another 2 weeks of a similar ilk. I just love it. We went to India for my birthday for the 50th, and it's somewhere I always wanted to go, to Goa. And my wife, bless her, bought us a package out there, and I loved it. It was a totally different world, noisy, messy. I mean, my lad said he came with the best because he came with us. He was 17 at the time. He did like it. I mean, he's quite fortunate. He's been a few places as well. But he described it as a shithole in paradise. Sorry, all you Goans or Indians, but it wasn't his gig. And I suppose you have to see through. There is poverty out there. There are people that are living, below the breadline and suffering and stuff. And you try to do your best. You can't do for everybody, but we certainly met up with a group of people who run a bar on the beach, and we stayed there and made sure that we looked after them as much as they looked after us for the week. And Yeah, I'd love to go back there. So it would have been toss up. We'd have either gone back to India this time, or further over for explorations over in kind of Bangkok, that area. You know.
Have you been to Canada?
No, it's fucking freezing.
No, not always. I mean, it's going to be +4 today.
Wow.
+6. It was snowing yesterday like crazy. Today it's going to be +6. So.
Yeah, do you know what? My wife said I'd like to go. So why? She said because what was that vampire film that was made over there?
In Canada?
Yeah, in Vancouver.
Oh, yeah, that's on the West Coast.
It's Canada, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's different Canada.
No,
it's beautiful out there.
What's the film I'm on about? You know, they did the 4 trilogies. The guy falls in love. Robert Pattinson falls in love.
Yeah, that's the Twilight films.
So that's the only reason perhaps I might visit there, because Twilight was made there. Oh, and you're there as well.
Where I'm looking out my window now, I can see where X-Men was filmed.
Right.
Do you watch any Netflix or what is it, Amazon Prime?
I do, but what do you mean?
The Boys.
I've seen advertising. No, I've not watched it.
Great show. If you get a chance, watch it. It's not like you would think. Give it a chance to get going, but once it gets going, you're hooked.
Bosch, we're watching at the moment.
Bosch? Don't know.
Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
Animal Kingdom's a bit like Sons of Anarchy. Anybody watch that?
I've seen it. Yeah, I watched it way back when, but I don't like the Charlie Hunnam or whatever his name is.
You don't like him?
The what?
You don't like him?
No, I think he's a terrible actor.
He was in Green Street in the football hooligan film.
He was, yeah, with Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking dude.
Huh?
He's a good-looking dude.
I don't rate him myself, but thank you for sharing that. Speaking of which, favorite movie?
Right. Again, off the top, as soon as you ask something like that, and I've thought about it, it was A Few Good Men first came to my mind. Can't stand what's it called?
Tom Cruise?
Yeah. I just don't like him, but I like that film. And the other one was Goodfellas, which I've probably watched between them both 4 or 5 times, if not more a piece.
Yeah.
So, yeah, classic films, quality films. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big watcher, as we spoke about, of films really. But yeah, them two, if they're ever on, I'll make an effort to watch them. Yeah.
All right.
Just brilliant films.
We saw something last night. Oh, I know. Meet Joe Black. You know that one with Brad Pitt?
That's an old one, isn't it? Yeah, it's an old one, isn't it? Is he the devil?
It's older.
Is he the devil, is it? No.
It's a good film. No, he's Death. Death.
Oh, Death, that's right, yeah.
It's a good film. Yeah. But anyway. All right. Do you have pineapple on your pizza or not?
No.
No?
Why would you?
Because it's fucking delicious.
No, it's gross. Why would you put something sweet on a fucking pizza?
Because it's something sweet.
No, it's dirty.
But then you sprinkle a little salt on it.
No, you're putting salt on it. What's the point of fucking pineapple on it?
Because it adds that sweet, salty.
Don't convince me. It's fucking dirty.
All right.
No.
Fair enough.
Nobody likes pineapple on pizza, right? No. I don't get that sweet and sour thing, to be fair. I don't know.
All right. Fair enough.
Soz.
No, that's okay. Everybody's allowed to be wrong. Anyway, moving on. Fake or real?
I don't know. I don't get this question. I don't know what it was. What was it about?
Christmas trees.
So we have fake, yeah.
Good choice.
Christmas trees. Yeah,
Good
yeah.
choice.
Always have. I've looked at real ones, and I think they're getting better because they don't apparently drop as much as they used to do, pine needle wise. I think they're being bred not to. I don't know how that works. But yeah, we're a bit of a stickler. We have pretty much the same setup. That's left to my wife anyway. I have 2 Christmas trees a year, and one in one room and one in another. So nice. I don't get involved in that.
All right. If you could have one do-over in life, so one thing that you could do again to make a different result, what would it be? Or you could even have it so that you get the same result, but you just want to relive it.
If I say what I want to say, I'm saying it for the reasons of. So I'll say. If I say the army, I would love to have another go at the army.
Yeah.
Because I don't think, like I said, I think I mentioned I wasn't. I think I was a bit immature at the time to kind of get it. So yeah, I would like to have that opportunity again, but that would mean, hypothetically, if that's that I wouldn't have met my wife, wouldn't have had my kid, and so on and so forth. So yeah, or if I could and still done the same thing, I would like to have done that. But yeah, I suppose the army, I would like to have another crack at that.
That's fair. That's a
Because
good
I like
answer.
watching a lot. I like watching a lot of programs. I like watching a lot of programs on those kinds of things. I'm just interested in that. But I can relate to it. But I wouldn't say I was a defender of the country or whatever, because I wasn't. I was in there for a minimum period of time. But yeah, I suppose that's why we want another go at it.
Wow.
Just
No,
to see if I could actually make a difference or do something or last a bit longer or whatever it may be.
that's a good answer.
Mm.
All right. And favorite binge show. So if you're going to watch TV, what do you watch? What can you watch from start to end as a series?
I think I've mentioned it. Sons of Anarchy. Once we got started on Sons of Anarchy,
Yeah.
As much as it's shit telly, I call it that stuff where you can just put on and it's 40 minutes of not having to think about anything.
Yeah.
So you can put it on and it's 40 minutes. If you're talking to your missus for 5 minutes or going putting kettle on, doesn't matter because you've not really missed much. But once you come to the end of one episode, I think, no, I've got to watch the other. So you put another one on. Then you look at the clock and think, it's 11:10. It's nearly time for bed. Have we got one more chance to watch one more before we go to bed? So I suppose, yeah, we do it from time to time with different stuff. There's a lot of BBC dramas on at the moment over here. Pretty good dramas, to be fair. A lot of criminal stuff some of them have been based on real life, and they're good as well. They're only 4 or 5 episodes, but because of the iPlayer, BBC iPlayer, and all these the technology now, it's strange because once I was on about it the other day with friends, once upon a time you'd have to wait. So you'd watch an episode on Sunday, and you can't watch another episode till the next Sunday, so you'd sit waiting. But now you don't have to. You go right, bang. You can rattle through 4 episodes in one afternoon. You know what I mean? You're done. Move on next.
And you wonder why our kids expect a £50,000 a year job.
Yeah. I know.
Do you play any musical instruments other than the drums?
I don't play the drums, mate.
I know. I was kidding.
All right. No, I don't play musical instruments. I did do. Perhaps could still rattle a tune. I played the guitar classically for a while. I don't remember that.
I do remember.
But I was, Neil Smith in Norwich. He was a classically trained.
Look at this bad boy.
There you go. Yeah.
Hold on.
So I was taking all my exams and doing all that classically trained stuff.
The 12-string.
And then, I can see it's smart, mate. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Look how thin it is.
You play them well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's tuned, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
I love the 12-string. It's beautiful.
Of course, I'd like to. I keep saying I'll pick it up and try and learn a bit more and see if I can get back to where I was. But every time I pick one up, I just keep rattling out House of Rising Sun. Or Smoke on the Water.
Yeah. Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah.
The go-tos.
Yeah, easy.
Let's see. Favorite band?
Favorite band? This was a bit of a toughie as well because at the moment, well, the favorite.
You can have more than one.
Bring Me the Horizon. I don't know if you've heard of them. Bring Me the Horizon.
No, I'm going to write that down. Bring Me the Horizon.
Yeah, fantastic outfit from Sheffield, I think they're from in Yorkshire. A rock band, sometimes pretty heavy, but not melodic as well. So I suppose if you write them down, if you ever watch it, they do a stint, they do a full concert of all their rock records with the London Philharmonic Orchestra. So they front. It's for a children's kids charity, I think, cancer charity. Watch that, brilliant. So you cross set, you put 2 and 2 together. Massive Philharmonic Orchestra with these guys at the front rocking out. Brilliant album. But yeah, I like them at the moment. They seem to be pulling some stuff through. Foo Fighters, steady.
Isn't Dave Grohl something else?
Just Yeah, I've seen him 3 times in concert. Yeah, just love the stuff. Again, the newer stuff I'm kind of swaying away from. The older stuff is probably where I'm at. Same with Green Day. I love Green Day. But again, old stuff. So when they get into all the political shites of the new stuff, not interested. I like the old punk, stuff when they first started. If you listen to the old, albums like Kaplunk and stuff like that, it's just raw, minute 30, 2 minute, fucking thrashing away, giving it punk, and it's I just love it. Bang it on, great, music to drive to and stuff like that. So yeah, I do like music. That's one thing I do like. That's what we all do in this house, and it's brilliant. Even my lad, 18-year-old, he's got such a cross section of music because of what he's grown up with.
Yeah.
I mean, it surprises people because he'll be out with us sometimes. They go, "Oh, somebody out you. Oh, it's a message to you, Rudy by the Specials," and someone will say, "How do you know that?" "Oh, it's such and such a body from way back when," and they don't expect an 18-year-old lad to come out with stuff like that because they expect him to be listening to drill music or rap or whatever. Nevertheless, I'd like Eminem. I think he's a lyrical genius, and we've seen him when watching him in London.
Did you really?
Yeah, I have to say that was £100 a ticket, and it wasn't the best. The sound wasn't the best, and there's masses of complaints. But again, we saw it. We had the atmosphere. Was it with £100? No. But yeah, I love music. Listen to all live music. I love. I can go into a pub tomorrow if somebody's rattling, a tune out on a drum and a guitar or whatever. I'll listen to it. I love it.
Right on.
Iron Maiden, another one. Love Iron Maiden.
I'm a big U2 fan.
U2.
I've always been, yeah.
Early stuff again. You see, I like the early stuff.
I think the guitar player, The Edge, Dave Evans, he just awes me with the stuff that he does. It's like, wow,
The favourite go-to for U2 for me, if I'm out that way out and I'm having kind of a YouTube night, is Unforgettable Fire.
That was a great album.
So that eyes, your only rivers run cold. These city lights.
Pride.
Yeah, I've got the album Under the Red Sky. I've got a few of their albums. Boy, Joshua Tree, all good stuff.
Yeah.
But it's the old stuff, and perhaps I'm getting older. I'll sit and listen to Radio 2 now. My wife goes fucking mad. So for the viewers in America, Radio 2 is once you get past a certain age, you start listening to Steve Wright.
He's on Radio 2 now?
He still is. He's been on for years. Well, I'm saying he is. I listened the other day. I'm not sure if he's on a sabbatical or something, but he's been on Radio 2 now. Oh, he must be 20, 25, if not 30 years. Since he finished on Radio 1 in the afternoons, he went straight to Radio 2. Still doing the same stuff that he was doing on Radio 1.
So for people in Canada, Steve Wright in England was the most bizarre DJ. He would have, if you look at the movie, what's it called? Good Morning Vietnam. The way that Adrian Cronauer had different characters come on the show, and it was him doing the voices. But that's what Steve Wright did. And this was way before Good Morning Vietnam. Mm-hmm. But some of his characters, my favorite was, "Yes, hello, this is Mr. Angry. I'm getting very mad." Mr. Angry was the best on that show.
Yeah, like I say, he's carried it through and still making a living at it now. But yeah, so Radio 2 is the go-to place. I think after the age of 50, that's what you go and listen to. But again, I don't sometimes. My music is varied. I like nothing best. I was saying to a friend of mine the other day, is putting the old YouTube channel on with the missus, a couple of drinks on a Saturday night, and just flipping through whatever it gives you. Listen to music. Oh, I've not heard this for ages.
Yeah,
who can put the crappiest record on? That's you want to do that next time. What's the crappiest record? And I always remember going out and we used to have the crappiest record competition in Horwich. Horwich is about 9 or 10 pubs, so we always used to walk around the pubs, have a couple of pints in each, and it was who would win, but by putting the worst record on the jukebox. And obviously, you put your 10p in or whatever and choose your record. And mine was Rhinestone Cowboy. Glenn, was it Glenn?
Glenn Campbell. No, yeah, Glenn Campbell.
I'm a Rhinestone Cowboy. Yeah. So that might be a question next time you to add to your list. What's the crappiest record?
Yeah, I don't want to get anybody offended though by saying, "Oh, the worst song ever was the London Beat, Thinking About You.
Not offending anybody. It's a personal opinion.
Yeah, I know, but people do get upset. Best concert you've ever been to, Lee? What was it?
Yeah, I think I mentioned it. There were Foo Fighters at the Etihad, Manchester City ground. Trying to think how long ago. Again, it would be 12, 14 years ago. Yeah, just brilliant. Yeah,
Wow.
I've seen, like I said, I've seen them a few times, but in that setup, if you can imagine, Manchester City's ground is a massive old gig. But what they did is, I think they do it in most places now. They have the runway, so they have the stage. So you'd have to see the band on the stage, and then they have a runway that runs right into the crowd.
Right.
Or you've got more or less a 360 view of Dave Grohl playing his guitar, Everlong. You know, when he played, you know, it's just magical. Yeah, fantastic gig, memorable.
Did he do the slow version of Everlong or the fast one?
The acoustic version, yeah.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It was great.
It's very good. Have you ever seen the YouTube clip 10,000 Musicians? Look it up. They play hold on, it's going through my head. Learn to Fly.
Oh yeah.
And it's 10,000 musicians playing Learn to Fly at the same time. It's I get goosebumps.
Right.
So
I'll look at that. Yeah.
Check that one out. Yeah.
Yeah, that one and the other one, I suppose. I've seen loads of. I love going to see live music, so there was loads and loads I could have chosen from. But the other one, I suppose, was the Iron Maiden gig. I suppose a few years ago. Took my lad to the Iron Maiden concert.
Did you run to the hills?
Yeah, do you know what? Like I say, I love, but they just, you know, you go to a concert, you want to see Iron Maiden, you want to listen to all the old stuff. I suppose it's the same with any band.
Yeah.
You know, they want to play the old stuff, and if you're not, you're disappointed. And they just brought a new album out, so bless them, they were playing a lot of the stuff that nobody knew. Well, I suppose the Iron Maiden fans would know, but I'd gone there in my lad because we'd obviously been listening to the old school stuff, and they only actually played probably 5 or 6 tunes of the old school stuff. But anyway, experience, and they put on a show, you know they do. You know, right from all the theatrics of the setup and the stuff that they do, and Eddie coming on stage, and
I was going to say the inflatable Eddie.
Oh, fantastic! You know, theatre-wise and from an entertainment point of view, it's fantastic. And yet you can go to. I watched Phil Collins a few years ago. Bless him, he'd had a bit of a health scare, and I think he'd had a fall at the time. It was a shame because he limped onto stage with his leg in plaster and just sat and sang. But do you know what? His voice carried him through. His voice is fantastic, and he sang, sat down for 2 hours. His lad actually came on and drummed for him at a couple of points. But yeah, there's a few. Serge Tankian, have you heard of him?
Who?
Serge Tankian.
No.
System of a Down.
I've heard of the band. I don't know them.
Yeah. So System of the rock outfit again, probably early late 90s. No, 2000s. But he was a lead singer. We saw him. I think he supported the Foo Fighters, but he's what they call gypsy rock. So if you can imagine like gypsy music, you know, all the diddly diddly diddly, that kind of music, all Irishly toned, but with a rock element. So he was fantastic again.
What's his name? Serge
Tankian. Yeah. Yeah, there are loads. Madness, Bjork.
You saw Bjork?
Saw Bjork, yeah.
He's crazy.
She. Bjork.
Am I thinking of a different one? The woman from Iceland.
Yeah, you said. Oh, did you not say? I thought you said he's crazy.
No, she.
Yeah, Bjork. She was in the. Yes, was it the Sugar Drops or Sugar? Yeah, Bjork.
Well, I imagine her concert will be insane to watch.
Well, it was. I'll tell you what. Here's another one. So me and my missus just started going out, and Bjork was in Manchester, the arena there, and Bjork's on stage. So I think 5 or 6 rows back, and there's a girl in front. My missus is not violent by any ways, but there was a girl in front of us, and she had a long drop-down ponytail, and she was obviously rocking to the music, and this fucking ponytail kept smacking her missus in the face. So she turned around, she grabbed this fucking ponytail, she ripped her head around, she said, "You do that one more fucking time." And this girl, like, poor girl, just trying to enjoy a concert, but my missus had put up with it that much. This fucking thing keeps slapping her in the face. Oh dear.
Oh dear. All
But
right. So
do you remember the Pink Panthers? Remember Pink Panthers in Bolton, across from the nightclub on the corner? What was a big nightclub on the corner in Bolton?
Pink Panthers.
Yeah, can't remember the nightclub though.
No.
Anyway, no. Well, we were in there once. This my missus sound really bad. This was another tale. We'd gone through. It was a really packed bar, and we'd gone through to the bar, and there was passing drinks over. And there's a big bloke at the bar, and he's, what do you want, Dave? And he's got all his mates, and he's passing these drinks. So he's passing these drinks over. Droplets of the drink kept falling on my missus.
Yeah.
So she's taking it all in and whatever. And he's fucking passing drinks back by it like this. Anyway, he goes and stands off to near the door with his mates. So we get our drinks, have our drinks, and we're on the way out. And this big, fucking built like a brick shit, so he's 6 foot odd, massive dude. And he's got his drink in his hand like this. And as we were walking past, my missus went like that, smacked the drink underneath him. Drink went all over. She went, that's what it fucking feels like. See ya.
And you're standing there like, that bitch is crazy. I don't know who she is.
I'm thinking, he's a big dude. He was like that. Anyway, she will kill me for that, but that's a true story.
They pick their times, don't they, to do stuff like that?
No, but they won't put that. Fair play, she won't put up with any nonsense. So that's every credit to her.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah.
Not for you, but good for her.
No.
Okay. I don't know where you stand on reincarnation, but let's say you could be reincarnated. We don't need to get into your beliefs on that. But if you could be reincarnated, what would you want to come back as?
Yeah, again, another one to think about. It sounds really. I love gangster films. So a 1920s gangster or a 1960s gangster. I would love to, that, not for being nasty, horrible. I like reading about the craze. I like reading about that era, that time.
Yeah.
Where gangsters looked after themselves. You worked to a code. They only took no public was harmed. They looked after their own within their areas. I don't know. I like. It sounds awful that I like it. I do. I like the whole kind of premise of it, and not to say they go around shooting guns and killing people, but I just like I like that era. I like that day. The dressing up, the going out to the clubs, the smoky clubs, and the dancing, and the sitting, back down to the mafia, the Goodfellas film, and all that kind of love all that 1920s, 1930s, 1960s. 50s, a lot of mafia stuff. I read a lot on American mafia, and again, it's, do you like it? I know they're not good people by any means, but they live to codes, and I think that's what kind of interests me, where they have this code within themselves that they kind of they work to, rightly or wrongly, and like I say, you don't get into those kinds of things, but I suppose it's just an interest of mine. I just like reading about it and watching films about it.
Interesting.
So yeah, I suppose to reincarnate to be one of those, or of that era, certainly.
Interesting. Do you have a specific one that you would like to be, or?
No, I don't. Do you know? Even just to be in the background, just to be in the just of that era, because again, people will have their views. And we want to be a murderous monster like like Al Pacino or what? No, not necessarily. It's just if I was just around in that time, just to witness it, be part of it, perhaps on the fringes again, or certainly in the circle of where that they kind of operated from. I'd like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
I know it's strange. It's a strange one, isn't it? Because
well, I mean, they are what they are. I've made it known that if I could be anything, I would like to come back as, if it happens, one of my daughter's children, so I could see how she became as a parent.
Right.
It's a strange thought, but I think it'd be neat to see her as a grown-up.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, because you don't get the same perspective, do you? I suppose so.
No, and I love her to bits. Like she's my everything. My daughter, I mean, my wife is up there too. I've got to say that, but my daughter is like I care so much about her, and I've tried to explain to people that don't have a kid, and you can probably verify this. The instant love that you feel for them, and it's unquestionable love, and it's just never dies with me anyway. It hasn't. So
No.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, you know, I said recently, over the past probably 6, 7, 8 years, my relationship with my lad has got better. You know, I've always loved him. Don't get me wrong, but there's kind of crossover point. I'm not saying all relationships, but when the lad was younger, as baby, coming through toddler, you know, growing up through school years and stuff, you know, we're obviously out working, and so my missus was as well, to be fair. But there's that kind of connection between those two, you know, to a certain point, and then once they get beyond, you know, a certain point, call it, you know, 12, 13, 14, puberty or whatever, I don't know, I found myself getting more interested in his life. I know what you say, it's just a strange thing. It's, you know, not that I haven't been interested with him, you know, I didn't say, oh, no, do with me until he got to a certain age.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying, but it's I know, you know, it just becomes more apparent. It becomes more, you know, my wife, oh, you'll do anything for him, which I will, you know, to try and help him get along in life and, you know, make him successful and whatever I want him to be. As anybody would for their kid. And you make it, you know, you make it hard for them, but you make it easy. But obviously, and we spoke about it before, there are lessons to be learned, and it's not easy. Don't get me wrong. There's many times he's come home and I've locked the door, and he's had to sleep in his car, and he's banging on. And I said, no, you were told to come in at whatever time. You're not here. You fucking stay where you are. And he's not in his car. So it's tough love, you know. But yeah, I know what you're saying. It's it just, yeah, it is weird. You can't explain it to anybody properly unless you go through it all. You've done it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's something you have to experience for yourself.
Mm.
So that was the 17 questions. How do you like them?
Pretty good, actually. I had a few blanks there where I wasn't sure what I was going to say, but I think we got it, you know, we got through it okay. I hope it came across all right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. So in closing, because I know you've got to go, but in closing, I want to say, keep up the good work with the union, because these people need somebody in their corner. So good for you for doing that. Well done.
Thank you.
And, you know, if you see all of our friends, say hi to them from me. It's sometimes I got a really bad concussion a few years ago. So surprisingly, I remember quite a bit, but there are certain gray things. Like it's weird that I can remember Stephen Pendlebury.
Oh yeah, I've got a good memory, but I unless you jog it, it's whether you choose to remember it or we choose to kind of forget it, which is an awful thing to say. But you know, things move on, life moves on, and those things are put to the back of your mind unless you have opportunities like this to discuss, you know, old times and past kind of adventures and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I would never have thought about the things you have until, you know, the memory is jogged, and then you think, oh yeah, I remember that. You know, it's just yeah.
But
yeah, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it.
But that's kind of what I want to. I mean, I'm talking about these things with you here now, and I'm hoping that the people that are watching this are going to look back and go, oh, you know, I remember that car from Only Fools and Horses, or I remember we used to watch Tiswas when we were younger. I remember Tiswas, the Phantom Flanflinger, and Lenny Henry got his start on there with the okay thing, you know. I'm hoping that it'll jog other people's memories too and bring back some smiles.
I've enjoyed it. I was a bit worried, but you know, I'm not the funniest person in the world. I've not got a lot of anecdotes and what have you. But I suppose if you're asking people's opinions, you're asking people's kind of, you know, about their lives and stuff like that. Yeah, we can tell you what it is. If you're interested, listen to it. If you're not, fair play. You know, it's. But I wish you the best. You know, I hope it works out for him. People get interested in it. I think you're right. If it's an open platform and people are wanting to understand and listen, I think the difficulty with your job is you've got to be careful not to alienate people. So, you know, because you're bringing two countries together effectively.
Well, actually, we're on 3 right now, but we're going to move into 4 on the weekend.
Right. So, you know, with that respect, you've got kind of a lot of people bringing together where you and I can laugh about the Phantom Flanfinger, you know, but other people may not know what that's all about. But again, if they're interested enough, they'll either go away and research it or just listen to tales that have been told.
And that's the goal, right? Just to introduce people and their stories. So hopefully some people get something out of this. I know I did. It was great catching up with you, Lee. It's something we should have done a lot sooner. You know how long I was looking for you on Facebook? but because you go by a different name on there, I haven't been able to find you.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't say what it is.
No.
And that's not for being, my own ass. That's professional, because a lot of these platforms now, that's why I was a bit wary of this, are open to people searching for people, which is all well and good, but ultimately in the job that I do, potentially employers, directors, company bosses, can all pry into, and they do it for their own employees.
Yeah.
And why are we out on a Saturday night in Wigan doing whatever you were doing?
And then didn't come in on Monday because you were sick.
So it's all about that, and yeah. So it's that, it's the way of the world, isn't it, these days? And I'm just conscious of that because of my job. Nothing more. I'm not up my own arse. I'm not bothered about most things. It's just if given opportunities, people will then could potentially kind of pry into the personal life of me as a professional when I don't want them to, when I'm trying to look after other people, as you talk about. So yeah, but yeah, it does make it difficult if people want to search and look people up and stuff like that. But I suppose on that level, I can allow people and keep people aware at my liberty and my will. So
which brings a thought to my mind. Why the fuck didn't you get in touch with me sooner, you prick? But anyway, moving on.
I haven't got in touch with it, Kev. I haven't got in touch with anybody, I'll be honest with you. And my wife calls me strange, but I don't know, it's weird. Even down to going to, there was a school reunion, and I had to push me. I went to the last one, pushed myself. And you know what? I felt so out of place. Doesn't interest me.
Where was this, the one in Harwich?
Yeah.
Daz Challender was there, and
no, because he's a bit older than me.
He was my year.
Yeah, so we had one. It was. I wouldn't go to yours. Obviously, you wouldn't go to mine, would you? But yeah, it was at Harwich RMI club. So you won't know the girl, Emma Channing. You know Emma?
I know Emma. Yeah,
she lives in your part of the world. Well, she lives in the Rockies, I think, or around there somewhere. I'm not sure.
Emma Channing. I got to write that name down. I know the name.
Channing. Yeah, nice girl, Emma. She was over and she'd organised it because I think it was her 50th birthday. She wanted to incorporate a get together, and I think she did it for a charity as well, which was good.
That's cool.
So, yeah, I can't think. She lives in I'm saying Rockies, up that part of the world. It's beautiful where she lives. She's got big old gaff and snow and elks wandering around. And
yeah, it's either Alberta or BC then.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, again, this has been awesome, Lee. Thanks so much for this. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed watching me talking to Lee. And I hope it brought back some memories. It makes just put a smile on your face. These days are pretty tough for all of us. And, that's the intention of this show, just to make people smile, I guess, if you will. So thanks for watching today. Lee, thanks so much for joining us, buddy. It was great. We stay in touch. I mean, finally, I've got you on Facebook now, so it's not going to be that easy for you to get away from it. But
don't be booking my room every 2 minutes.
Oh, too late. I'm going to send you song requests and
delete.
Yeah, exactly. Block. But if you guys watched this video and you liked it, thank you so much. Please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please press subscribe so you'll get notifications as to when new videos come up with new people. And I do have a good one coming up on Saturday. That's the 4th part of Craig Rotherham, 4th part. And it's awesome. But Lee, this was great. We'll have to do it again sometime, like in 20 years.
If I'm around, mate.
You're one of the... Where's the any key?
You're breaking up.
Where's the any key? But anyway, thanks everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for viewing. Now go do something great.